Sheriff, talk to me about the challenges, not only for local law enforcement, not only is it 9/11, not only do you have the Koran burning, theoretically, but it's also a Gator game day. How do you tackle something like that?
Well, I can tell you that I know the Alachua County Sheriff's Office is already prepared to put more security on for the game, but it's filtered across the state. Any Florida team that is playing this weekend, they're all concerned about the situation that's going on in Gainesville. I talked to my brother. I know University of Central Florida. It's definitely on the radar screen, and so should the church and the various churches up in the Gainesville area. Everybody needs to be on a high state of alert now because of what's going on.
Chris, talk to me about this, because extremist groups, they have promised retaliation, and in this case, this is a unique situation. This is probably not an idle threat.
Well, not only this is not an idle threat, we got to really look at this real serious. Now, you're dealing with a group of individuals who are beyond extremism. The normal Muslim would probably dismiss this minister as, just somebody who's upset with the world. But when you're dealing with the radicalization of someone is when they stop listening to reason. And the reason here is that you're attacking to the Muslim world, the word of God, regardless, with all due respect to the Christian community, how they look at that. But you're talking to someone here who is a group of people who are so entrenched with the word of God that they will really look at this as a true violation of everything they believe in. We've been building our relationship and our fostering relationship with our allies for the last 9 years, and during my time with DHS, that's all we worked on. It takes one person in Gainesville to actually destroy all the hard work the government, the public sector have done. My challenge to this person is he needs to take those Bibles, or the Korans, and put them in a suitcase and go to Afghanistan and burn them right in Kabul. And let's see how he fares with that. That's really what he needs to do, because he is actually risking American lives, regardless how anybody thinks. But we have troops, we have business people, we have embassies across the world that, and so therefore he's actually putting every U.S. citizen or civilian on a high alert.
Yeah. Sheriff, let me ask you, as sheriff, would it behoove you? You've got the Vatican criticizing this. General Petraeus is criticizing this. Would the sheriff then go to the guy and say, "Hey, look, what are we getting out of this? You're putting everybody's lives at risk. Maybe we rethink this." Would the sheriff of Alachua County go and talk to this guy?
Well, the sheriff could have one of his subordinates go and talk to him. When you've got NATO, General Petraeus, the Vatican all denouncing this, you'd think that would get that point across. But this guy is set on doing what he thinks he needs to do, and it's a concern for the state of Florida. It's a concern for local community up in Gainesville. And I can tell you, with it being on the eve of 9/11, terrorism is going to be on everybody's mind over the next 7 to 10 days.
Chris, is there any way to focus your attention on one area? Do you focus it on the game? Do you focus it on the church itself, or with extremists? Is there any way to focus?
Well, I focus on the lives that we are looking at that could be lost because of conduct that has not been accepted. I think in the Christian community, you're going to find everybody will be against it. I was talking to a friend of mine to the ACLJ, and I said, "Are you for it?" He goes, "Absolutely not." But here's how hard this is. I've traveled the Middle East for the last 30-some years. I've worked with the Middle East, and I understand those people. And we are in serious area that we don't want to see it happen. And if this gentleman would just reconsider the lives, the American lives, we're not talking about other lives, we're just talking about American lives. And if he's willing to be responsible for these individuals' lives, so when the life is lost, he should be liable for these families, and there should be consequences for that.
Yeah, Sheriff, there's a difference between standing up for what it is that we believe in, and at this point, would you assess Gainesville as just a tinderbox, and this guy is going to throw a match right into it with his actions? Well, quite literally, actually.
I think you're absolutely right. I think there's going to be a high state of awareness. I think it is a tinderbox. I think you got radical elements on both sides that are going to be very concerning to law enforcement on the local level. And I can tell you this, I got a 2:45 in the morning email from Kabul asking me if I knew about this guy in Gainesville, and I emailed them back, and they were briefing all the police mentors and getting it sent up to the military chain of command to get prepared for the march that already happened in Kabul. And of course they were denouncing America and wanting to kill Americans.
Wow. Well, the ripple effects are being felt all over the world from this one action, one pastor in one tiny church in Gainesville. We're feeling the effects. Sheriff Beary and Christopher Hinn, we appreciate your time tonight. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.